Hi, Music Theory 3. Here we are, last chapter of the semester. We're in chapter 22, and I'm not starting the chapter. I gave you this handout. It's on the weekly to-do. You can follow this handout as I'm going through this overview. I think it's, for me, it's a little cleaner than going through the chapter itself. So we'll hit this overview, and then in the next part, next video, I'll do just a little bit more detailed analysis and possibly some part writing, although we're going to do some here as well. So augmented 6 chords, right? Let me give you kind of an idea of what an augmented 6 chord sounds like. So that chord kind of in the middle preceding our 5 chord was the augmented 6 chord, right? And so this is augment 6 chord, sorry, handout, and this should be augmented, a little typo there at the top. So here's the 3 measure history. 4 to 5, and really this should be, and this is incorrect, this should be that. Think about 4 to 5. 4 to 5 is we call this a half cadence, but it's also known as a Phrygian half cadence. So Phrygian half cadence 4-6 moving to 5. Okay, so composers use this quite often. And then they said, well, what if we added this nice little chromatic pitch here? Oh, that's really nice. Again, this should be raised. It adds a really nice lean or push towards that so in the very top voice there. And then composer said, well, why do we need the chromatic pitch? Why don't we include that chromatic note or phi that leads into so in the chord? Right. And the resulting chord we get is an augmented 6 chord. Okay. Why is it called an augmented 6? Well, look, it's the lowest note, A flat and F sharp. A flat to F sharp is the interval of an augmented 6. We add 1 or 2 notes into that, and voila, we have a chord. Okay, so in minor keys, C minor, we're going to expect it to resolve in this way. Lay, or minor mode 6, is always going to be our bottom note. Phi, or we can call it sharp 4, is always going to be our top note. The tendency of lay, it's an active note, is to go down to so, or to scale degree 5. The tendency of phi is to go up to scale degree 5. So this augmented 6, the resolution will always be outward to octave, the octave, scale degree 5, or so. Phi goes up to so, lay goes down to so. In major keys, we're going to have to not only add the chromatic phi, or sharp 4, but in major keys, we're also going to have to lower scale degree 6 to become flat 6, right? So in minor keys, it's already there. Lay is already a member of the minor mode. And so in major keys, we're going to have to add that. Same resolution here. Phi goes up to so, lay goes down to so. I'm going to ask you a question later about what function this chord has, and I think hopefully you'll have an idea by that point. The essential scale degrees in every augmented 6 chord, they are, you need minor mode 6. It's always your lowest notes, or most of the time it's your lowest note. There are some exceptions. You need sharp 4, or phi, and you need scale degree 1. These are the essential elements, or spices, you could say, ingredients, let's say, in every augmented 6 chord. Flat 6, or lay, will usually be your lowest note. This is lay, phi, and do. Those are the essential scale degrees. They won't be always organized like this, although lay will usually be that bass note, and phi and do will be somewhere above that. But these will always be the notes that we have. The tendency of these 2 scale degrees to move outward by the half step to the dominant, to do, or to scale degree 5, right? So I think I added the tonic pitch too soon, but anyway, we're going to build a chord here. So we started off with our interval, and now let's actually build an augmented 6 chord. And if we do that in A minor, what do we need? We need flat major 6, or flat 6, excuse me, sharp 4, and scale degree 1. So in E minor, what's minor mode 6? Hopefully you guessed C, or lay. Now flat 6 in E minor is C natural, right? We don't have to do anything. It's already in minor mode. It's already flat 6. It's already lay. Lay, flat 6, same thing. In major modes, we will have to lower it, okay? And then we need sharp 4. What's scale degree 4? Hopefully you guessed it was A sharp. And the last scale degree we need is do. So there you go. Minor mode 6, sharp 4, and do right there. These are all of our essential scale degrees. How will this resolve? Fi resolves up to so. Lay resolves down to so. And we'll have some configuration probably like this with our 5 chord. Sorry. Something like that. Lay, so, and then mi, so, going up. Now what about in major keys? Well, it's the same idea. We need minor mode 6. And this, in major keys, we have to lower it. Sharp 4, Fi, and the tonic pitch, or do, scale degree 1. Again, this will go out to so, and this will go out to so, and then this will resolve somehow to 5. Okay, augmented 6 chords. The main interval inside of it, or the featured interval, is an augmented 6. The lowest note is almost always lay, or flat 6, or minor mode 6. They're all the same. Somewhere above that, you'll have scale degree 1, or do, and scale degree sharp 4, or Fi. These are the bases for every single augmented 6 chord. Okay, so let's keep going. Main characteristics in augmented 6 chord. We need to have flat 6, sharp 4, and scale degree 1. Sometimes we will have other scale degrees, as in the French augmented 6 and the German augmented 6, which we'll learn about shortly. But these are the main scale degrees we have. And this creates our augmented 6, our interval of an augmented 6. It will always resolve out to octave scale degree 5. Or we can think of it another way. It will always resolve to some sort of 5 chord, right? Because that augmented 6, the tendency for Fi is to go up and lay to go down. So that will make it a predominant harmony, meaning it's always approaching 5 because of the way it resolves. Okay, let's talk about our first type of augmented 6 chord, and that's the Italian augmented 6. The Italian augmented 6 chord. What scale degrees does the Italian augmented 6 chord include? It's the simplest of our augmented 6 chords. It includes all the basic notes or scale degrees that I've just said. And if you want to think about this in solfege, it's lay, fi, do. Lay, fi, do. So if I'm trying to build an Italian augmented 6, and again, this will be the shorthand for it. We'll just say Italian plus 6, and IT is short for Italian. We want lay below, and that's what we have here, flat 6. We need sharp 4, which in A major is a D sharp. And then we need our tonic pitch, A and A. So I already did this for you, but in 4-part texture, which scale degree is doubled? Well, we know lay has a tendency down, Fi has a tendency up, so we can't double either of those pitches, right? Because they're tendency tones. So what do we double? We double the tonic pitch, or scale degree 1, always. When we're resolving this out, Fi goes up to so, lay goes down to so, as you saw here. And if we're going to a 5 chord, the easiest resolution would be to go up here and of course down here, and we'll need our leading tone there. And we can resolve it out from there. So most important, lay goes down, Fi goes up, double your scale degree 1, double the tonic pitch in our Italian augmented 6 chords. Okay, so let's build net 1 now in A major. And again, whenever you're building these, I just want you to write out or think about your essential scale degrees or your essential solfege. In augmented 6 chords, it's flat 6 or minor mode 6, sharp 4, and scale degree 1. So what's minor mode 6 in A major? F, But here it's F sharp, so we need an F natural to make it minor mode. We have sharp 4 already. Let's go ahead and write in our tonic pitch right there. And, oh gosh, we probably need a little more room than that, so I'm going to throw this down an octave here. So we'll go all the way down here, minor mode, and we need our, I guess we need an A somewhere in here. I'm not leaving myself a whole lot of room. This is quite awkward. We'll just do that. Up stem here, and that'll just be a doubled A there. Okay, oops, and I did this wrong again. We can't have it that low. Let's put it up here. So there you go. Sorry, a little confusion with the part writing. Lay goes down, scale degree flat 6 goes down, Fi goes up to so, and that's the first thing you should resolve. Fi up, lay down, and then when we're voice leading to a 1-6-4 chord, basically the inner notes are almost going to stay the same. We're going to have to shift our A up here, and we can keep our A in the bass there, and we can carry on and resolve the rest of this. The main thing to remember about the Italian augmented 6 chord is the scale degrees that we have inside and how you need to resolve your tendency tones. Flat 6, lay, and Fi sharp 4. They move out to the octave, right? The octave scale degree 5. All right, let's keep going. Oops. Let's talk briefly about our next chord, and that's the French augmented 6 chord. And here's French. So Italian sounds like this, and our French chord sounds like this. It's a little more striking, right? And if we look at this chord, what's inside of it? Well, obviously we have the second in the middle there, right? But what other features do we have? We have a tritone there and a tritone there, right? So this is an augmented fourth and an augmented fourth. So 2 augmented fourths, and it's giving us that really stark, bright type of sound. They're butted sort of crossing each other. So what scale degrees do the French augmented 6 chord include? Well, all of the main ones we want: flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and our added pitch this time is none other than scale degree 2. And we can see that here. If we're in the key of C minor here, or C major rather, here's flat 6 down here, here's sharp 4 up here, here's scale degree 1 here, and finally D is scale degree 2. Voila! French augmented 6 chord. So Italian has flat 6, sharp 4, 1. French has flat 6, sharp 4, 1, and scale degree 2. We want that second in the middle. All right. French augmented 6 chords. Let's look at this. So if we're in the key of B flat minor, what scale degrees do we need for our French? Well, I just said it. Flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and now scale degree 2. So what do we have up here already? So we already have our lay, flat 6. We have sharp 4 above. Now we need scale degree 1 and scale degree 2. So you can kind of decide where to put it. I'm going to put scale degree 1 right there. So we got it. We got these. And now we need scale degree 2, which in B minor, or B flat minor, is just a plain old C. Here's our French augmented 6. There we go. And how do we resolve our French augmented 6? Well, when we're going to a 1-6-4 chord, lay goes down to so, Fi goes up to so, and that's the case for every single augmented 6 chord. We can keep do, and we just need to make our C rise up to D flat. And we might carry on forward. Right? Something like that. So again, predominant, approaching a 5 chord, approaching dominant chord. Oops, I keep playing the wrong notes. There we go. There we go. I didn't play enough natural. I don't know why I didn't do that, right? just like that. Let's do it in a major key now. What do we need? We need flat 6, sharp 4, 1, and scale degree 2 for our French. So what's flat 6 in D major? Scale degree 6 is none other than B. But for it to be flat 6, we need to lower it. Yes? What else do we need? Sharp 4. Let's put it somewhere up here. I'm going to make my sharp 4 right there. So G is 4. G sharp is sharp 4, or Phi. We need scale degree 1 and scale degree 2 now. I'm going to do scale degree 1 right up here. And scale degree 2, which is an E natural. I'm going to put, oops, that is not good part writing. Guys, that is terrible part writing. I'm going to put my E up here, which is scale degree 2, and I'm going to go ahead and just move my lay up an octave. I think that's fine. So B flat, flat 6, E is 2, sharp 4, and 1. French augmented 6, there you have it. So all you have to do is write them out. How does it resolve? Lay goes down to so, right? Phi goes up to so. In our 5 chord, we can simply keep E, right? E, scale degree 2, is in our French augmented 6 chord, but it's also in our 5 chord. So that works quite nicely when we're voicing our French augmented 6. And there it is. We would go from 1 to there. So French augmented 6, flat 6, sharp 4, 1, 2. You can think of it this way. We have to include scale degree 2, which is re. And re is actually inside of the word French. There you have it. Re, French. So re, we need scale degree 2 in a French augmented 6 chord. Finally, let's do our German augmented 6. Or more typically, what scale degrees are in a German augmented 6 chord? Well, you tell me. Looking at this, we have flat 6, as we know, A flat, sharp 4, as we know, scale degree 1, as we know. Now, what's the added note? Minor mode 3 or flat 3. What scale degrees do the German augmented 6 chords include? Flat 6, lay, sharp 4, Phi, 1, do, and finally minor mode 3 or may. German augmented 6 chords have that flat 3. In major keys, minor mode 3 can, I shouldn't say often, can be spelled as sharp 2. So sometimes instead of having the chord that we have above, it is possible for us to see this chord, flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and sharp 2, or D sharp here. D sharp, E flat, they're the same chord, or they're the same notes, just a different spelling. The reason for this is, typically speaking, German augmented 6 chords resolve to not a 5 chord directly, but rather a 1-6-4 chord because of voice leading issues. For that reason, it makes more sense. D sharp leads us to E natural, rather than E flat, which the tendency of E flat is to go down, going to E natural. So the voice leading is a little bit more, makes a little bit more sense. We'll say voice leading to a 1-6-4 chord. To avoid parallel fifths, the German augmented 6 typically is followed by a cadential 6-4, typically speaking, right? Or 1-6-4 in minor keys 5. So here you'll see, this is the reason why we typically don't see a German augmented 6 voice led to a 5 chord. Usually the result is parallel fifths. And again, parallel fifths, any parallels of any kind are going to hide voices, right? Are going to hide melodic lines, especially those inner voices. We want those voices to be as independent as possible, and so parallel fifths are not good. So we typically will not see this, yes? But instead, we'll see German augmented 6 chords voiced to 1/6/4 chords or cadential 6/4 chords. Sometimes composers have ways of getting out. So German augmented 6, flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and now, minor mode 3. And in major mode you can make it a sharp 2 if you want to, or re as we would call it. German augmented 6 chords, we need minor mode 6 or flat 6, which is E flat in this case. Sharp 4, we'll put that above here. We need minor mode 3, right, or E flat, and finally Do. So that is sharp 4 is up here, tonic is there, and finally minor mode 3 is there. What does a German augmented 6 sound like? It sounds awfully like a dominant 7th. Well, it's an inharmonically spelled dominant 7th, and we'll talk about how we can inharmonically reinterpret that next semester, not right now. All right, so these are the scale degrees that we need. How does it resolve? La goes down to So, Fi goes up to So. That's always the same. And guess what? When German augmented 6 chords were being voiced to a 1/6/4 chord in minor keys, we have 2 common tones. Pretty nice. There's our 1/6/4 chord, and this should be a minor 1/6/4. That was a mistake here. We can resolve down to 5. We need our leading tone there, and finally we go to 1. And there you have it. All right, let's go over to major keys. What do we need for German? Flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and minor mode 3. Or in this case, if you want to instead use sharp 2, that's fine. Remember, this scale degree is Me in solfege, and this is Re. So whatever you want to do. We need minor mode 6, which is E flat. Remember, in major keys, we have to adjust for that. In minor keys, it's already in our key signature, so we don't need to adjust for it. Okay, we need sharp 4, which is C sharp. I'm going to put that right here this time. We need scale degree 1. And finally, if you want to, you can use sharp 2 or you can use flat 3. If you're using flat 3, it would be B flat in this case. La moves down to So. Fi moves up to So. If it's 1/6/4, we'll keep G, and we want to make now the B flat B natural. And hopefully you can kind of see why now we might use sharp 2, because sharp 2 makes more sense in its resolution to Me or scale degree 3, right? Where flat 3 does want to fall down. Sorry, should sound like this. And there you have it. There's your basic spellings. I'm going to jump to the back because I put a little map on the back here to kind of serve as a, usually I do this in class and I say, hey, can you figure out why the map could be a good hint? Well, here's Italy down here, and that adds scale degree 1. France adds scale degree 2, and Germany adds flat 3, and you can see the upward progression here. Italian augmented 6 have scale degree 1 in them, in addition to flat 6, sharp 4. French have all of them, right, plus scale degree 2, and then Germany has flat 6, sharp 4, scale degree 1, and finally flat 3 or minor mode 3 in it. So there you go. There's all your hints. I'm going to look at some of the analysis here in just a second. I'm just going to play a couple of them for you because I think they're interesting to be able to hear. So this first one, this first musical example, has an Italian augmented 6 in it. There it is. Sorry. So Italian augmented 6 chord here. We're in the key of B minor. Zoom. Oops. Sorry about that. There's our Italian augmented 6 right here. And then we get it again right there. Just like that. And think about this B minor. Minor mode 6 is G. Sharp 4 is E sharp. Tonic is B. You can see it there. resolve out as we might expect them to, right? Pretty cool. All right, let's go to the next one, Mozart Fantasy. We have a secondary leading tone chord here. And then we have an Italian augmented 6. And again, here, C, we're in the key of C major, C minor. Here's minor mode 6. Here's sharp 4. And there's our tonic pitch right there. So you can see that's German augmented 6. And again, it's resolving out to a 5 chord. So let's do just a couple more. This is an example of a French augmented 6. I won't keep playing this, but I'm going to go right to the end, the last couple measures. So here's the last 3 measures for you so you can hear it. So the last few chords. There's your French augmented 6 chord. 5, 1. So if we look at this a little bit more closely, this whole measure here, oops, the whole first beat I meant, right there, is a French augmented 6 chord. We see F, we see A, B, D sharp. F is flat 6. D sharp is sharp 4 in the key of A minor, and then we see our tonic pitch A, and finally B. And this resolves out, right, to a 5 chord there. Pretty cool. Cool sound there. Works quite well. One more French augmented 6 chord here I'll show you, and I'm just going to kind of play. I'm going to try to play both of these. And so on and so forth. And then in this next measure we have, there's our French augmented 6. Right, and this actually moves to a 1-6-4 chord. So here, there's our French augmented 6, and we're in the key of D major here. So flat 6, B flat, sharp 4, G sharp, and outward. And you can see D and E are hanging down there in the bass here, and that's scale degree 1 and scale degree 2 for French augmented 6 chords. One more chord here. I'll show you just this last example here. And let's look in the second to last measure here. We're in the key of E major, and I wanted to point out this chord right here. And we want to include that little E in there too. Sorry, not that chord. I have the wrong chord. It's this chord right there. What kind of augmented 6 chord is this? Well, if we're in the key of G major, I see flat 6, minor mode 6. Here's sharp 4 up here, A sharp. And sharp 4s aren't always sharp. They're just raised. Okay, so beware. Now I see E natural here, so that's scale degree 1. And finally, G natural, which is minor mode 3 in the key of A major. And those do a little voice crossing there. Finally resolve out. Well, this is a German augmented 6 chord, and we would label it as such. All right, that was a really, really quick overview of augmented 6 chords, and feel free to take a little bit more time to go through this handout and go through your textbook. But that's all I'll do for right now, and I'll do a second video on some analysis in your textbook and some part writing. Thanks.